Hi everyone, this is Lois Banks coming to you from the Lois Banks Ministry. Today is April the 30th, 2020, and I just want to encourage everybody to be self-sufficient and to make smart moves that protect you and your family. I have heard on the news a couple of times that in certain places of America, there seems to be like a food shortage, basically with looks like milk products, which we really don't need in our body anyway, some meat products, um, and then certain areas of fruits and vegetables. So, with that being said, when I hear stuff like that, I know that is a warning sign to make sure my house is in order. You have to be very proactive and think and pay attention to what's going on in the world. You definitely don't want to get caught up in a place where you don't have no food, or your store doesn't have any food, or you can't get a hold of any food. So you definitely want to make sure that you are growing your own food. You have plenty of food for you and your family. You're not going to ever be hungry, okay? Ever be hungry or ever put yourself in a position where, you are relying on somebody else to feed you. I grew up around, of course, with my parents, but I grew up around my grandparents who owned a lot of land in Patasko, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio is the capital. And my grandfather used to farm the land. Um, my grandfather had a hen house that laid brown eggs, and my grandmother used to go out to the hen house to get the brown eggs to make her cakes or whatever it is she was going to cook, her rolls. So I saw fresh, brown eggs growing up. I used to get out there in the field and help my grandfather with his farm. I got my hands dirty, got down there and, pulled away some of the weeds from the foods and helped him harvest. Some of the food. I used to watch my grandfather on his big tractor. I used to watch him till the land. I used to watch my grandfather, harvest a lot of food. I mean, plant a lot of food and harvest a lot of food. So, I always saw my grandparents always had plenty of food, stored up. I never saw them go hungry or have to, depend on anybody to feed them. Same thing with my dad. My dad used to have a garden. He used to have my sister and I get out there and help him with the garden. What grew in the garden, we ate for dinner. Okay, what grew in the garden, we ate for dinner. And then, my dad had a deep freezer, was filled up with plenty of food. In the wintertime, my dad didn't go to the grocery store. He had food right in his house. So I'm used to that type of thinking, being around me, people who thought ahead and protected, made sure their family had what they needed. So I just wanted to encourage everybody to think like that. And then if you don't have a deep freezer, now is a great time to go get a deep freezer so that you can fill it up with food. Make sure you have enough food to last you 1 to 3 years. You always want to have food for you and your family. You don't ever want to not have what you need for you and your family. And again, you want to be self-sufficient. That's a huge lesson that I learned from my dad and from my grandparents. You want to be self-sufficient. You do not want to be dependent on anybody to feed you. If you don't know how to plant seeds and grow food, I mean, you can always learn. And then my children, I passed that knowledge down to my children. I enrolled them into a program called the Garden Program when they were young growing up. They were youth, and it was like a youth program. And my children learned how to till the lands, plant the seed, how to take care of the food as the seeds were growing, how to water it, how to harvest the food, and then they also sold the food, and the money went towards a good cause. So I wanted my children to know how to survival skills. Of course, I wanted my children to be educated, go to college, and all of that. have a skill, but I also want them to have survival skills. I think that's a great balance. Everybody needs to have it. You don't need to be so educated where you're no earthly good, where you can't even take care of yourself and you're always dependent on other people for survival. That's not good. That's not balanced at all. And I thank God for the teaching that I received growing up as a child from my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, and my dad. It was very, very balanced. I mean, we were taught to believe in God, but then to know how to take care of yourself. So I just wanted to encourage everybody in that area. And then to the shortage that I'm seeing in America, I'm not sure how long that's going to last. So I'm just nudging everybody, think ahead, be proactive, make sure you have enough for you and your family, be self-sufficient. Also to, we're living in a different time now, so you're going to have to you're going to have to think different, okay? Basically, you're just going to think different, and you're going to have to make sure you take care of yourself because, it's a lot of game going on out here right now. There's lots of craziness going on, and you're going to have to take care of yourself and protect yourself and think ahead. So, see, is there anything else I want to share with you right now? Oh yeah, the food that I actually have right now comes to the house through the pandemic. My food comes straight from organic farmers. Yes, even through the pandemic, I make sure I take care of the temple of God. My food is clean. There's no reports right now from any of my farmers that I get the food from sick of the COVID-19. The farmers that I work with, they're all Christians. They love the Lord. And my food comes straight to my house, okay? Because I'm not playing that. Even before the pandemic, I was buying my foods from Whole Foods. I like the foods from Whole Foods better before Amazon took control of it. Once it was sold, it was a little difference. I noticed a little difference. It wasn't, just some things I noticed, like some of the bananas. One of the bunch of bananas had blood on the inside of it, and I had to bring that to, someone's attention inside the store. See, I didn't see that before. When I was shopping at Whole Foods, before it was bought over by Amazon, I didn't see that kind of stuff, so there was like a different area of quality that went down a little bit, but it was still better than going to the grocery stores for some stuff. Ever since I saw the blood in the bananas, I stayed away from the bananas. I'm not eating any more bananas. I saw a news report from a doctor, a black female doctor, that stated that some of the bananas now are being tainted with HIV and AIDS. So, I did some kind of social media message about that a couple years ago, but now I'm doing a video just to let you know you got to watch your food. And it's better if you basically just grow your own food. If you just grow your own food, you know that nobody's trying to harm you, nobody's trying to hurt you, okay? Let me see what else. So in the regular conventional stores, I knew not to buy food in the regular conventional stores. Those neighborhood stores are just hideous. The food is just nasty, sprayed with so many different types of chemicals, and just not good quality food for the temple of God. So, and then when the pandemic broke out, I had to think of a different way of getting my food because I wasn't going back into Whole Foods because I didn't want to be around the crowds of people. So I just put my thinking cap on through the leading of the Holy Spirit. I was able to find some great farmers who had good farming practices. They thought just like I did as far as the quality of food and what's going inside the body. So I was able to find somebody who thought like me, who farmed the land according to the standards that I adhere to. And I've been happy, so I already know after this pandemic, I'm going to continue on with these farmers because I like how what they're doing. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be growing my own vegetables. I'll be growing my own vegetables, okay? And I'm excited about that. Thinking ahead, I'm going to be storing a lot of stuff in my freezer. So I just wanted you guys to know that's something you need to be thinking about. You know, you need to be thinking about your food supply. Okay? So this is Lois Banks coming to you from the Lois Banks Ministry. Y'all be safe out there.